week I think I remind every week I think I remind you guys like, hey, the leading indicators is your activity, the lagging indicator is your results. The leading indicators is often conversations first, talking to people, getting more engagement, having more communication. More communication is always the precursor to more customers. And there's typically a 30-day lag between the start of communication and them converting into customers. So I want you guys to know you're on the right track. You're doing well. I actually want to check in with Karen if you're up for it. Karen, I think I audited. We talked about. I saw you just, but I want to check in with you.
The
Are you
reason I raise my hands is because my name is Pauline. I share an account with Karen, and I keep forgetting to change my name when I come on. I will do it.
Will you remind me of your name again?
It's Pauline.
I thought so. Okay. Pauline, I want to check in with you because I think when I coached you, maybe it had been like 2 or 3 weeks ago, we talked about how you were reaching out to people and that the activity in and of itself of reaching out to people, fantastic. But we were realizing there wasn't relational equity being built before a pitch. So I want to know how things have gone since your pivot
So
in,
the
yeah.
first thing I have to say to you is, I knew you were going to call on me today. I knew it. I sat here and I felt it. I said, I have an uncanny sixth sense, but I just knew. And I was just thinking about what I was going to say. Yes, things have turned around. But they've turned around. I still do some cold messaging. I'm not going to
Mhm.
say that I don't, but I'm doing it strictly with breeders,
Yep.
mostly Yorkie breeders, which is what I breed.
Yep.
And I've gotten a very, very big response there. Which not not positive response, but positive in the sense that they're opening my text messages and we're having conversations. So it's not,
Huge.
hasn't really progressed past that yet, but I have the highest rate I've ever had in people opening my messages. So I have to thank Brittany for that, because Brittany gave me some tips when we were talking about the poor trip, and I'm trying so hard to earn that. So
Yeah.
that was number one. Number two, yes, I have gone back and refocused on my Facebook, on my TikTok. I am working with, I don't know how many people right now as far as possible pet pros. I have at least four in the works. And that to me, I knew something was going to break. I just didn't know when. And it hasn't broke yet, but it is there. And I picked up about four or five new pet pros, not pet pros, customers in since I spoke to, at least four or five, maybe more. So
Well done.
you know, I've been here before. Um, Before my husband passed, I was steadily working poetry. And when he got really sick and then he passed, I have been non existent. So
Mhm.
I'm basically starting like a lot of you people that are new, because I have to restart my program. And so I knew it worked. I just, I was frustrated for a while, and that's, human nature. But
Yes.
yes, no, I did go back and I'm working Facebook, like I said, and TikTok, and having very, very good results.
Well done. So good. Like you're saying, like I'm looking at this and there's as I'm hearing what you have positioned and what it sounds like is you have a pipeline right now is you've
Yes,
been building the pipeline, you're in those conversations and inevitably with time, when you put enough people in the pipeline, you start to have a steady flow of customers that trickle out. So the fact that you're here just a little more than halfway through the Power Pack tells me by the end of Power Pack, you're going to have a full pipeline that's constantly churning out new customers and pet pros month after month. The only thing that disrupts the pipeline is inactivity. The only
right.
way that the pipeline breaks is if we stop feeding the top of the funnel. So huge, well done on that, Pauline. The fact that you have four people in the works is amazing. And notice, guys, notice how she's not like, yeah, but today I'm going to convert them. She knows the law of timing with consumers, and you get the right person at the right time when they're ready to say yes, and the action that they take when they're actually on board and not like dragged into it and they're like, okay, I bought in. Like the person who joins at the right time has the right reasons and they have a sense of urgency, goes to the races and sees results a lot faster than somebody that's like dragging their feet and being like, I don't know if I want to do this. So well done, Pauline. I wanted to check in with you on that. And I also want to say, guys, the cold messaging is not a problem. What she's been doing is prospecting. And I want to help like frame the term prospecting well. Is prospecting means you're examining the area or examining the person and qualifying them in your mind. Like, is this a good fit? Why would this be a positive add to their life? Am I speaking to a need? Like you're vetting them ahead of time. And so I think when you're prospecting, it's kind of like when you're looking for, okay, are they somebody who's driven? Are they somebody who obviously wants to make money? Well, yes, they're a breeder. They're in this for making money. Do they have a need? Well, yes, especially if they can only put out so many litters ethically on the dogs for the dogs to stay in good health. So what are they doing in between litters? So all of that to say is she's prospecting and then using her positioning, her expert positioning as a fellow breeder, saying, "Hey, I thought of you. Here's why it would be a benefit to you if you're open to a conversation." So noticing that she's vetted the person, being like, I think this would be a good fit, and she's using her expertise. So that's usually when a cold pitch is works, is when you have authority, relevance, and credibility. But if you don't have those things, then it will fall flat every time. So super good,
And
Pauline.
one
Love
of the
that.
other things that I did learn is to cool, to chill, to not
Yeah.
be as much as I want them. Guys, you know you want them. Um, I've learned to just say, I'm giving you this much and I'm walking away and letting you take your time to digest it. Where, you get to a point where you just really want that person and that comes across. And I had to refocus myself to stop, to pull back and just give a little bit at a time. And that's hard. That's
Yeah.
hard.
Yes, it is. But this is so important because it allows the consumer to be in charge of the conversation
Right.
and you're gauging their desire. But if you're constantly verbally vomiting on them, you're not allowing them to build a desire for your product. So that's really good. And I like that you went back and built relational equity with people that you didn't have that authority, expertise, and credibility with. So you want to be doing both. Super good. I love that, Pauline. All right. I wanted to where is the gal I coached? Joey.
Hi.
Hi. I want to check in with you after our coaching last week. How are you doing since our coaching last week? What's changed? What's come up since then?
Uh, I've definitely been more aware of when I have the distractions,
Yep.
and I have caught myself and I said, sit your butt back down and keep working.
Yes.
So
And
I've definitely,
noticing
yeah,
that. Yep, go ahead.
yeah. So it's just been a lot more of the awareness of, like, crazy dogs barking in the background. Um,
Yep.
so it's just been like the awareness of it mostly.
Yeah, and with that awareness, what has changed with like the behaviors? Like you mentioned in one area, you're like, okay, I notice when I get distracted, I get back and I sit my butt down. Like, were you able to accomplish more last week?
Yes, I would say that I would stay on task
Yep.
more often, but I definitely still need to be preparing what those tasks are. So I have started putting into my calendar, like, okay, on Friday, this is what I want to do, or on Tuesday, this is what I'm going to do.
Hmm.
Um, Still working on actually doing those tasks, to be completely honest, but
Yeah.
it is a habit that I am building.
Yeah. I think when I hear that, I think what we have to go back. Remember, we kind of how we talked about the pain, like realizing, like, all right, there's the pain of actually doing the things and the pain of not doing the things. And I think if I'm going to give you some homework today, I just want you to take a minute and I want you to write down every time you're not accomplishing the tasks ask yourself, what is that costing me? Like, what future problem is that creating for me? Because then it creates some relevance to her. Because right now, if we're not doing the action, it's because we feel like there's not a consequence behind our inaction. So I think for you to write it down will help you be like, oh, right, I told myself, I wrote down all the things. This is the consequences or the results waiting for me if I continue to not do the behaviors. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
bringing pain back into focus there so that, because, we kind of drilled in last week about like, I'm like, girl, if you wanted it, why aren't we doing it? Right.
Yeah,
I
which
love, yeah,
it did push me to do a live yesterday, which I've been like pushing that off. And like
good.
I'm very much a God person, and he's been putting on me like, you need to go live more often. And I'm like, okay, I hear you. And then I just haven't been doing it. But I actually pushed myself to go live, which I'm not scared to do it. It's just actually figuring out, what do I want to talk about? When am I going to do it? So I did actually sit down yesterday and be like, I even have 20 minutes. I can just go live. And then I think I was live for, I don't know, 45 minutes or something like that. So it is getting there, and because there is the pain, and I have to realize like what I want is on the other side of that, and just have to go through it now.
100%. So I would just take 10 minutes today, write it down and be like, what is it that I want? And what are all the actions that are required of me to obtain what I want? And what happens if those actions don't happen? And I think another thing this is for everybody too, by the way, is I want you guys to, when you write down the actions that are required of you, like, or you can look at your activity chart that you guys log in each week. Joey, thank you for that. I'm done coaching you because I don't want to put you too much in the hot seat, but I want to give you some of that homework. But this for everybody is when it comes to looking at the activities, I want you to ask yourself, and I might put who's up for a little coaching right now. If you want to raise your hand, let me see. I want to use somebody as an example where there's an activity that they have a lot of thoughts and feelings behind that they are like, I know I should be doing it, but I'm not. Yeah, Lisa NKAB, because I think there's a couple Lisas on here. All right, Lisa, unmute yourself. Let's talk.
All
All
right.
right. Hi. All right.
Hi.
Thanks for jumping in the hot seat.
Yeah.
All right, Lisa, what is the activity you quote should be doing in order to obtain the results you want, but you're not? What comes up for you?
Stories.
Doing the Instagram stories like
Doing 5 a day stories on Facebook, or
okay, cool.
actually I just as soon start with Facebook because I can't even consider doing, I mean, I post occasionally on Instagram, because you can do it from Facebook, together,
Yeah,
but
nope. I just want you to hang out on Facebook to start.
yeah, stories are my biggest problem.
Okay.
I don't
What?
I watch everybody else's stories and they got so much, and I'm like, I don't have a dog.
Uh-huh.
We
What do you
used
have?
to, but I have a cat who,
Okay.
at the minute I pull my phone out, she runs. I
I think
literally,
that's
I mean,
funny.
it's like, no, it's not. It's not. She makes my life difficult. She loves my husband more than me. And she was my Christmas gift.
Oh, I love that. Okay. So I think it's so funny. Like you're like, why can't I get my cat on camera? That in and of itself could be a story, Lisa. You can get on and be like, all right, so I keep trying to get my cat in my stories, but every time my camera goes on, she goes running. So I'm gonna tell you about my cat, or you like even funnier is you could post a photo of where your cat normally is hanging out and put a caption over it being like, this is where my cat was before it ran away. Who else has a shy cat? And have like a little poll where people can engage. Is your cat a menace or a cuddler? And then people can vote like mine's a menace or mine's a cuddler. Things like this, right? Or just like, okay, friends, do you have a scratch post or does your cat say, forget the scratch post, I like your couch? Like I want you to think about the personality of your cat. And even if your cat doesn't want to be the star of the show, you can still talk about your cat and
Okay.
like and have those conversations. But aside from the story of like, every time I pull my phone out, my cat's not around, I think it's very easy for that to be like, well, if my cat's not around, I can't do stories. But if we
Yeah.
were to remove that, what comes up for you? If I was to say, all right, forget your cat, just do stories, what comes up for you?
I do not, I don't get out much. And that's the hard thing. I'm very much in my house and um
What do you do in your house? What are your hobbies?
my computer,
What do
my
you do on your computer?
poultry. I'm busy
Busy
trying
doing
to
busy doing what with pottery?
um posting. I do a lot of events. That's where most of my postings are done, is in events.
Like online
Um
events?
Online events. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. When
So,
you're not doing pottery and online events, tell me about we're just gonna walk through your day, Lisa.
oh Lord, it's
Because we're gonna find
boring.
your stories. Okay, when
It's
you wake up,
boring.
what's your morning beverage? What's Are you a tea drinker, coffee drinker?
No.
What do you
I
do? How do you wake up? I'm already interested. I'm just like, first of all, how does a human being wake up without coffee?
I don't, I don't know. Yes, I mean, I am the most boring person.
No, you are not boring because everybody drinking coffee is so predictable. I'm like, I am interested. I'm like, Lisa, no, seriously, I cannot function without my first cup of coffee. So when you wake up, what do you do?
I grab my water,
How do you take your water? Just ice water?
ice water. Yeah,
Amazing.
ice
Okay, what else
water.
do you do? What else then? What do you do?
Um,
Walk me through your day, Lisa.
I get on my computer and check my messages.
Okay.
I do my events, I do my postings, I respond back to people. Um, Maybe go
Good.
check the mail. I just,
Check the mail. Is that outside?
you know,
Do you walk
yeah,
to your mailbox?
yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
That's a story right there. Come with me to check my mail.
Okay. See,
What a
to me,
beautiful day.
that just doesn't sound so
It doesn't matter.
engaging.
You're just talk to the camera. Let me just tell you, America is filled with people that are voyeurs. We just want to look in on your life. We just want to just see what's going on. We just want to, you might think it's the weirdest thing, but I'm telling you, do you know what I watch when I'm bored? People cleaning carpets. And you would think that has got to be the most boring thing ever. I could watch it for 20 minutes. I don't get it, but it's like anybody else would be like, who wants to watch carpet cleaning? There are carpet cleaning accounts with 2 million followers, Lisa.
So doing laundry, doing dishes. I mean,
Yes.
it's so mundane. I'm
I know,
sorry.
but this is your story. Your story is
Okay.
it has to be entertaining for me to do stories. And because it's not entertaining, I don't do stories. And because I don't do stories, people don't get to know me.
Okay. And I see all these cool stories where they have all these like 10, 15, pictures where they're all like, I don't know. I guess I need to learn how to do stories more.
Okay, so are you committed to learning? Are you committed to
Yes.
learn?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because
I
that's
think it
my
just starts
Achilles
there.
right now.
Yeah. So are you committed to I want you to just commit to like 5 mundane, boring stories every day for you to just
All
get in the
right.
habit. And here's what's going to happen, Lisa. As you do that, you're going to start coming up with ideas simply because you're in the habit of documenting your day to day.
Okay.
So it's like, you might have like do you have like like every Tuesday is Taco Tuesday? Come with me, it's Taco Tuesday. This is what I'm gonna make. Like, I know you probably are a creature of habit. You just don't know it.
Yeah. Well, I bowl every Wednesday. That's
What?
my only outlet is bowling.
Lisa, that is so cool.
Okay.
We gotta hear about your bowling life. Like, okay, are you on a team?
Yeah.
What's your team name?
Um, Hits and misses.
Lisa, this is like you are missing out. There is a whole like online bowling community with people you can be connecting with and friends with.
Okay. Okay. I never thought of it.
It's You know why? It's just because your brain shut down you thinking of that because you labeled yourself as a boring person who never gets out. And
Yeah.
therefore your brain stopped thinking of like things to share because you already decided I have nothing to share. And
Yeah.
our brain always does what we tell it to. So
Well,
if
like
we're
I
like,
say,
yeah,
when you see everybody else's and they look so fun and so cute and it's just like, who's gonna wanna, Don't want to watch me,
Right. Notice how
you know.
comparison was robbing you of seeing what
Yeah.
is actually unique about you.
Yeah, I guess.
How long have you been bowling, Lisa?
This is my second year.
I love it. What made you get into bowling?
Um, I,
This is your story, and this is why people will relate with you. I had a feeling there might be some emotion behind this.
my best friend got me started subbing, and then they all asked me to come onto the team, and she passed away last
Mm,
summer,
I'm sorry.
and it was it was hard for me to go back because she's gone, and she really was the only. She was my very best friend, and I didn't get to have any closure with her because it was sudden.
Mm.
And so anyway,
So
I'm
sounds like
sorry.
bowling
I'm
has
sorry.
given you, don't be sorry, but I want you to know this
But
is the very rich, beautiful part of what you think is boring that connects you with others.
it was just hard to go back, and I sit in her chair now. And so every Wednesday, I think about her and say a prayer, and
Lisa, this is beautiful.
no,
Lisa, this is so beautiful. This is beautiful because what it sounds like is your friend not only gifted you with a hobby where you get to think about her every Wednesday, but it sounds like she gifted you a community
yeah,
and a place to belong.
yeah.
Whereas without that, I'm wondering if you would be shut in
Oh,
and not
yeah,
social.
even more, even more.
Okay, Lisa, you have got to talk about how beautiful this is.
Oh, that's so hard.
Well, you don't have to if you're not ready to talk about your friend, that's okay. But you can talk about how bowling has given you community, a sense of belonging, friendships, why you go. I want you to know that people will like following you because you found a hobby later in life that brought you all these things. These are things to talk about and share. And this whole time, your brain was like, we're not cool, we're boring. And I'm like, no, you have a really beautiful, very cool story here.
Okay,
So on Wednesdays, at the very least, you have stories to talk about.
okay,
Can you do that for me?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So, Lisa, can you commit to just this next week? 5, I don't care how boring and mundane you perceive them to be, because perception is in the eye of the beholder. Someone might actually think your life is interesting to watch, but let's
okay,
let them be the judge of that. So, can you commit to just 5 boring posts each week, boring stories in your mind? And I want you to have fun with them in the sense of like polls or stories. Like, so I'm a cat person. Okay, scratch post or not, why not? Is your cat cuddly or, or a menace? Is your cat a cat or a dog? Because I'm convinced there's cats that act like dogs, right? I
okay.
think we've got some ideas. Can you commit to that, Lisa?
Yeah, I just have to figure out how to do them all. I'll get it. I'll get it.
I want you to, when you
I'm a
sit down,
learner.
I want you to give yourself a deadline of like, okay, for the next hour, I'm going to commit to learning how to do a story
Okay,
so that at the end of the hour, I know how to do this. But I think sometimes it's when we have a non-existent deadline that we just spend hours and hours without forcing ourselves to be like, I'm going to give myself an hour to messily figure out this task.
okay. I can do that. How many times? How many times? I mean, how you want us to do like 4 or 5 a day, or 5 a day? So,
Yeah,
like, how do we space those out, or do we need to space them out? I mean,
you
does it
don't have
matter?
to. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
For you, Lisa, I just want you to break through break through the habit first. I don't want you to
okay,
care about spacing or timing. I just want you to accomplish the task and then we'll work on the quality.
okay.
So
I'll
good?
do. Mhm. Yeah.
Lisa, you are
I
amazing.
didn't need the cry
No,
session, but
I
yeah.
love your story. As soon as can we all just give Lisa a round of applause for just
No, 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 it's not
showing up?
necessary.
So
I'm
good.
not.
Lisa, we want to hear about your bowling league, the hits and the misses. I love it.
Okay.
I love
Absolutely.
it.
I
Okay.
want to go bowling with you, Lisa.
All right, we're on.
All right.
Yes.
We're on. All
So
right.
good. All right.
Thank
I
you.
I want to coach somebody else who's experiencing some resistance with doing an activity because I want to help you get into the activity. Amy, saw your hand go up. Let's do this.
Hey, this Amy, I know there's several other Amy's. So something that always holds me back is the lives. Because I think I have to have a clean house. I have to have makeup on, I can't just hop up like this. I feel like everything has to be perfect. And another thing that holds me back is I have such a East Texas accent, and so I feel like my voice, nobody wants to hear my voice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's entertaining to me. I'm like, tell me a bedtime story. I like this. Okay, but Amy, why do you think you have the thought? Where do you think it came from? The thought came from that I have to be done up and my house has to be clean. Where did that come from? Says who?
Yeah, it comes from just watching all the influencers from
Okay.
TikTok.
Ew. Amy, do you find, okay, when you are looking at other people with perfectly clean houses and all made up, notice how that creates a barrier for you to show up yourself.
Mhm.
Do you want to perpetuate that story to people who join your team?
Well, I don't know. I just want my team to know, or I just want them to say or think like Amy has it all together. She's all
Why? Why?
organized.
Why does your team need to think that you have it all together? Why is that important to you?
Maybe because that's somebody I want to be, I guess. I don't know.
Why aren't you as you are enough? Why do you feel like you have to clean yourself up to be worthy of being paid attention to?
Mm. Uh, why do I think? I mean, I I don't know. I guess because I have a problem with and I've been working on this. Elka's been helping me and she's done a really great job. Um, it's just the judgmental of others.
Yeah.
I grew up in a judgmental family and
Me too. Amy, are you judging me for coming to the call with a baseball hat on, a messy bun, and no makeup?
no, when
Why
I
not? Why not? I don't look put together. Why not?
because you're a real person.
Oh,
You're
okay.
just like me.
Oh, is it helpful to you?
Yes,
Okay. So why can I do it and you can't?
good question.
What do you like? You have this story of like, okay, how I show if I show up without my makeup done and without a messy house, what do you think people are going to think?
That you're fake and you're trying to be somebody you're not, that you're trying to,
They're going to think you're fake for a messy house or a clean house.
they're gonna think that you're fake for a real person, somebody um, somebody who is just not true to themselves. So why would they be true to helping me or helping you?
But if you're not willing to show up as yourself, then you're not being true to yourself.
Mhm.
Okay, here's the thing. What if I were to tell you no matter how your house looks, somebody's going to judge you? Like judgment's going to happen when you go live no matter what. No matter if you have your lashes on, your hair done, or you have, makeup-free face. People are going to judge you no matter what. Then what? People already judge you, just so you know.
Mm-hmm. Then I just need to just um just be strong and just keep doing it. And the more I go live, the easier it'll get.
That
And
just sounds like fluffy self-talk. Do you believe that? You're like, I'll just gotta be strong. I'm like, that's nice, but do you believe that?
oh, um, well, I do have to have courage just to get up and to go, just show up and stop worrying about what other people think. And, I have to realize that, I need to find my people.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, if you felt like you had to clean up your house and perfectly like do your hair and your makeup and project that put together image, you won't feel, and then people join you, then what you're going to feel the pressure of ongoing is I have to continue to look like somebody that has it all together. And then I have to keep up with this front. And then I can never be vulnerable when life is hard because I started this whole thing by pretending to be somebody I'm not.
Mhm.
So, what if you can just go live with a messy background?
So yeah, I know I can do that. And I just need to do it.
Okay, so who I want to know, usually guys when we're afraid, like when we're afraid of judgment, it's not random people. It's usually one or two people specifically where if we were to see that they joined the live, we would want to throw up. So,
Mhm.
Amy, whose opinion do you need to let go of?
Uh, the Well, probably the friends and the family who are those that don't support my business.
Okay. Do
If
you,
I've always thought like if I could have a own separate Facebook account, a own separate TikTok where I do not have anybody that lives around me that I know there's no connection. I always feel like that would make life so much easier.
why? You're like, I wish I could build this secret life. Why? Are you ashamed?
No, I'm not ashamed
But
of
you
who I
wanting to
am.
go and hide and create the secret account would suggest like that there's something to be embarrassed about here.
Yeah.
Here's my thought. Do you judge yourself?
Well, yeah.
Oh, why?
Well, like I said before, I don't like to hear my voice. I know I'm a big procrastinator. I know I need to clean the house. I know I need to, you know, yeah, I do judge myself.
What if I were to tell you like it's really just it's not other people judging you, it's your own judgments about yourself?
Okay. I think I like that thought.
Yeah. Because you're like, oh, other people are judging me for doing what I'm doing. I'm like, do you judge yourself for what you're doing? Is there a part of you that judges yourself for being in direct sales? Is there a
I
part of
don't
you that's a
judge
little
myself.
embarrassed of that?
No, I'm not embarrassed at all for direct sales, being in direct sales.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
just
Then why not tell everybody you know? Why not let your family see and know what you're doing?
Well, I just like to avoid um I like to avoid like I don't like conflict, and I know like on um I mean I'm not ashamed of MLM, uh but I don't go out and say, well, I don't know.
Answer me this, Amy. If you didn't care at all what your family or friends said, how would your social media look different?
Um if I didn't care at all,
If you didn't care at all, if you never thought about what they thought, what would look different about your social media? This is
Probably,
a $1 million question, friends.
probably nothing. It'd be the same. I'm just making excuses.
Oh, what's the excuse then?
I guess it's something I can control.
What can't you control?
Well, it is something that I can control.
Okay.
I can
What can
control.
you control? What can you control actually?
Well, I can control when I go live. I can
Mm-hmm.
control um how many hours a week that I work my business. And so,
What
yeah.
else can you control?
Um I can control.
Uh-oh. Did we lose her? We might have lost her. I might have to answer her questions for her if she comes back. If you guys want to put in the comments, what are
Control the
you in?
way I think about
There you
myself.
are. There you are. Amy, go ahead. Say that one more time. What can you control? What else?
Um, I can control what I think about myself. Did you hear that part?
Yes.
Okay.
What can you not control?
What other people think about me.
That's right. All right. So, Amy, I want to know what you would have to be willing to feel. I want you to imagine yourself going live. What would you have to be willing to feel when you click live and go live? I want you to picture yourself going live. What comes up for you?
I need to feel confident.
Nope. That's a feeling that you're going to have to work to grow. I want to know what is the knee-jerk feeling that you will have as soon as you go live. The most natural feeling to you. Like the 5 minutes before you're about to go live, what feelings come up for you?
I just need to have that feeling like this
Nope.
is me. No.
Not the feeling you need to have.
Uh,
There's a good reason. There's a reason why I'm having you do this exercise because this is the reason why you procrastinate and why the task doesn't get done.
uh,
What comes up for you? Okay, someone just said, I feel sick to my stomach. I feel nauseous. What about you?
well, oh, like that stuff. Probably just
Yes.
nervous.
Okay, what does nervous feel like in your body?
Up here, anxiety.
Like, okay, so tightness in your chest. What else?
Mhm. Oh, I lose my thoughts when I'm
Okay,
talking.
you get a little fuzzy minded. Okay, what else happens when you feel anxious? I want you to describe the bodily sensation. There's a reason why I'm doing this, guys, and I'm gonna flesh this out.
I feel, uh, I don't know. I get that feeling in my heart.
Yep.
I don't know.
Okay.
See, right now, so what I'm doing right now is I'm feeling fuzzy headed, like you said.
Perfect. Probably because we're feeling a little anxious. Yep, totally fine. I want you to notice what's happening. Close your eyes real quick. That
Okay.
guys, this has so much value. If you're like, why do I procrastinate? We're going to answer that right now. Close your eyes and I want you to picture yourself. I'm going to say you're going to go live in 3 minutes. As soon as you get off this call, I want you to go live. What do you feel and where do you feel it? You can describe any sensation.
Well, all of a sudden I get excited. And then I'm like, oh man,
Okay, describe the oh man feeling.
I get that in my head. I can't do this.
Okay, describe the sensation in your body. You keep telling me your thoughts, which is good.
The sensation is I get relaxed. Is that what
Oh,
you're talking about? I get tensed up. I'm excited, tensed up. Let's go. And then when I tell myself I can't do this, am I really doing this? Then I sit back, put my shoulders down,
it's almost like defeat
relax.
checked out like your body checks out.
Hmm.
Okay. Amy, when we are about to do something that is uncomfortable, your body has a normal response of anxiety, rapid breathing, accelerated heart rate, sweating. You might actually get fuzzy in your brain. You might feel tense. Some of you said nausea. Someone said lump in their throat. Don't know what I'll talk about and I'll do it. It's all of these physical sensations that your brain registers as an unsafe thing. And so what actually happens is, in order to get you out of that feeling, your brain goes, okay, cool. There's nothing to talk about. What about your family? Someone in your family is going to see this. No one's going to support you. You're going to look dumb. No one's going to support you. Everyone's judging you. And what immediately you listen to the stories and then you don't do the activity, and what happens? The nausea leaves, the anxiety leaves, the shortness of breath stops. Why? Because we stopped engaging in the activity that was causing discomfort. So, Amy, when I said, what might you have to be willing to feel? I want you to tell yourself, I'm willing to feel nausea or tightness in my chest or a little bit of shortness of breath. And I'm going to work through that feeling in the action. And then that feeling will pass as I'm live. So let me give you an example of that. Before I get on stage to publicly speak, I swear on everything, it's like my insides seize every time. I've done it a million times, and every time I feel my insides go and they just clench, and it's crazy, and I feel like I'm gonna pee, even though I'd like literally just peed. Like, I don't know what it is. And for me, I'm like, all right, this is what my body's like freaking out that I'm about to go out on stage. And I know all I have to do is write out 2 minutes of these physical sensations. They will totally pass, and I will feel totally at home with myself on stage. Most people aren't willing to go through the 2 minutes of a really unpleasant physical sensation of doing an activity, so they bail out of the activity. So this is why I was like, Amy, I want you, every time you go live, I want you to tell yourself, I'm willing to feel whatever uncomfortable feelings or sensations in my body, lump in my throat, nausea in my stomach, fuzziness in my head for 2 minutes. And I'm not going to talk about products for the first 2 minutes. I'll talk about like, hey, everybody, what are you drinking right now? I'm drinking my favorite Starbucks latte. Or has anybody tried the new Starbucks apple crisp thing? Or how's the weather where you're at? Just to like talk through the 2 minutes of extreme discomfort I'm feeling, knowing that feeling passes and then I can be in the activity. Does that make sense, Amy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Most
So this is
definitely.
what I want you to sign up for. I want you to sign up for this week, physical discomfort that you're going to feel the first 3 minutes of going live, maybe 2 minutes. The 2 minutes leading up and the 2 minutes after. So I want you to ask yourself, am I willing to sign up for 5 minutes of physical and emotional discomfort, knowing that on the other side, I'm building trust with myself, and with enough practice, I won't think twice about going live. Does this register for you guys? Like understanding, like, this is the reason actually behind the psychology behind procrastination. It's just your brain wanting to avoid the physical sensation that comes up with doing a task that brings up fear or brings up worry. And oftentimes we're just projecting our own feelings on our audience. They're going to judge me. I'm judging me. They think I'm doing something silly. I think I'm doing something silly, right? So I want you all to look at your activity that you've been avoiding and ask yourself, what physical sensations am I going to sign up for on purpose when I do this activity this week? So some of you might have to be like nausea, lump in my throat, tightness in my chest, fast breathing. Okay. And then now you know, so that when it comes up to sit down to do the activity, now you know why when the dog barks or the laundry buzzer goes off or you suddenly think of something else, it's only your brain trying to rescue you from physical discomfort. And your job is to work through it. All right. With that, I'm going to give it back to Roger.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Kristen. First of all, Amy, I like your accent. I'd love to watch you on live anytime. And it's
Yeah.
true for anybody with an accent. I think it's what helps. I mean, it's fun, right? To hear people that speak differently, and sometimes I mean, it can be very entertaining. So I literally agree with Kristen. I know she said it part jokingly and part seriously when she's like, "Would you say I'd love to have you read me a story or
Yeah,
something?"
read me a bedtime story.
I'm like, I love your accent, and so please, I hope you never hide behind that. I think it is a wonderful part of who you are, and that goes for everybody else. And second thing I just wanted to say is I really hope you guys are, as Kristen is asking these questions last week and this week, she really just, identified a couple of people and went pretty deep. And the thing is, that's what's necessary to peel the onion back and really understand what's holding us back. What are the things that are, what are the voices in our head? What are the stories we tell us? What are the hurdles we have to overcome? And so I really, really hope that each and every one of you are totally tracking with Kristen as she does this and thinking about your own answers to some of your similar questions or the similar situations that you're in. They're not going to be identical. Maybe sometimes they are, and you can really relate. Most of the time, they're not going to be identical, but there's something you can take from that if you're actively listening and engaged with what Kristen's saying. So I hope that's the case. I hope you did that today. If you didn't, you might want to go back and watch the replay when Melissa sends it out and put yourself in the hot seat and really not let yourself kind of give, uh, motherhood and apple pie kind of answers, right? Because Kristen doesn't tolerate that. If you notice, she does it in a very nice way, but she won't let people get off the hook by just saying, "Oh yeah, it's this or all that," or it's like no, that's not going to be. So if you find yourself giving those answers, imagine her, sticking with you to say, "No, let's get to the real root of it." And I think these are wonderful things because at the end of the day, you guys, you do have all the skills, you've got all the tools, you've got all the resources, you've got amazing products, you've got amazing community, you have what it takes. Now we all have to go do the work. And all kinds of obstacles can get in our way, most of them emotional, right? And mental, like we get in our own way. It's not usually the physical things out there that get in our way. It's the headspace of, what we tell ourselves or the procrastination, all those things that Kristen's working through. So I hope you guys take the time to use this session to advance your work and advance your purpose and advance your mission of why you are in pottery in the first place and why you signed up for the Power Pack in the first place, because this was an opt-in and you guys opted in. So I hope that, almost 2/3 through, you're saying to yourself, and reminding yourself, why did I sign up for that Power Pack? What is it I wanted to get out of this? And if I haven't got out of it yet, it's time to get going because we're more than halfway through. And if you're coasting along thinking that something magical is going to happen to you or your business without doing the work, I can assure you that is not going to happen. And so if you find yourself, you're here because you opted in to be here. You said you wanted to work hard and you said you had a vision that the work was worth putting the effort in because of the vision for what you want to accomplish. I really hope that you are getting out of this your full potential because there's just a lot of amazing nuggets of wisdom and inspiration in these power packs. So once again, thank you, Kristen. You're wonderful. I've just enjoyed these sessions so much. I look forward to seeing all of you next week. Next week, we will have our new National Sales Director, Kimberly, with us, as well as Melissa. So you get a chance to meet her, see her. Also on the fireside chat on Thursday night, we will introduce her and you'll get a chance to meet her there. But I look forward to seeing all of you again next week on the Power Pack. Thanks for taking the time. And thanks again, Kristen, Melissa. We'll see you guys later.